Taf Yud Tes Amud Aleph, the first line right at the top. V'omer of Yerim ben Elazar, another member of Yerim ben Elazar. Bo Yiresh like Midas HaKodesh Baruch Hu, Midas Basav Adam. Come and see, we see how much greater the Rebbeinu Shalom is than Basav Adam. Midas Basav Adam, we see that by Basav Adam, Mitzchayv Adam Harigel Malchus, if a person was sentenced to death by the Malchus, by the king, by the crown, Matim loy chikel l'soich piv, they put a piece of wood in his mouth, kadesh loy kalas melech. So you see that the human king is not that great, that if he would sentence to a person to death, the person would curse him. They have to put a piece of wood in his mouth so that he doesn't curse him. But Midas Kodesh Baruch Hu, but a Kodesh Baruch Hu, Adam is chayv regel makam sheisek, that a person who is chayv misa, they sentence to misa from the Rebbeinu Shalom, he's quiet. It says that to you, to Rebbeinu Shalom, the silence when people are quiet is a praise to you, meaning they're sentenced to a misa and they're quiet. Not only that, that they even praise. It says praise. They're quiet to you, and they praise you. So you see how much greater the Rebbeinu Shalom is that people, even though they're sentenced to Misa, if it's a human king, they curse him because they say that it's not correct. But by Rebbeinu Shalom, it's correct. And not only that, but it's with a person who is dying, then it seems as if he's being marked of a korban. Because and it says that Shulam is like he fulfills a netter. So with his Misa, it's as if he's being marked of a korban to the Rebbeinu Shalom. So we see how much greater the Rebbeinu Shalom is, that people at the time of the Misa, they're quiet. Not only that, they praise the Rebbeinu Shalom. They know that the din is righteous. They're also afraid. They're also afraid that he can be punished. The person can be punished in Gehenna. A human king, then he is sentenced to death, and he curses because he says that the king judged incorrectly. It was not a proper judgment, and he's also not afraid of cursing because what more can be done to him? He can only be punished in the Olam Hazeh, in this world. He can't be punished in the Olam Haba, but the Rebbeinu Shalom can punish in this world and in the next. So what does it mean when it says in the Pasuk that the people who pass through the Emek Haboch, and it says over there that these Emek Haboch will be transformed into a mine, a well. Gam brachas yatem moira, the rain will now it will rain on shower upon it, and it covers it with brachas. So what do we darshan over here? Oivrei, we say Oivrei be'emek habach, Oivrei el benam sha'er ma'al tzadish l'kodesh baruch hu. The Oivrei refers to the first of the people who are Oivrei al ritzainat, who are Oivrei averas. So it says Oivrei be'emek habach, emek shemam mekim l'gehenna, and the emek is that they deepen the Gehenna for these people who are Oiver Averas. Habocha is a reference to Boichin and Marina de Moyes. They cry, they shed tears, Kimayan Shel Shisin, like the springs of the Shisin where they poured the Nesachim on the Mizbeach, and the wine used to flow down into the Shisin, into these holes where they flowed down to. So they pour like pouring tears. Gam brachas yatem moira, and it says gam brachas yatem moira, meaning a reference shematzdikim alem yasadin. So it cloaks them, it covers them with brachas, even at that time when they're crying, when they're being mamikim at the Gehenna. But like we said before, that the matzdikim esaladin, they know that the din of the Rebbeinu Shalom is emes. And they say in front of the Rebbeinu Shalom, Yafa Danta, Yafa Zachisa, Yafa Chiyafta. What you did is just, what is right is righteous, and you judge it properly. and it was proper what you did, that you're Masaki and Gehenna for Rishoyim and Gan Eden for the Tzaddikim. Ini Frek the Gemara, you're saying that Matzdikim Esal Din, the Rishoyim are Makabel the Din, and the Matzdikim Zadin. How could that be? Rav Shimon Lokish says Rishoyim Afila Pischa Shel Gehenna Mena Chayzer B'Tshuva. The Rishoyim, even on the doorway, the entranceway to Gehenna, they're still not Chayzer B'Tshuva. Shenemar V'Yotzev V'Ro V'Figre HaNoshim HaPayshim Bi. And it says they'll go out and they'll see the Pegarim, the corpses of the Payshim, of the sinners. Shepashu loy nemar. It doesn't say in the past tense that they were paisheh. Ela paishim. It says in the present tense they're still paisheh. They're not chayzer b'tshuva. Shepaishim v'holchem lo'elam. They forever are paisheh. So you see that they do not retract. They're not chayzer. When it says leikasha, it's not a kasha. Haba paisheh Yisrael. Haba paisheh v'chachavim. Paisheh Yisrael, they are chayzer. And the Pischush Gahanim, they're matzdikin esadin. I'm stubborn to say that you can't kasha the Reish Lakish or the Reish Lakish, because otherwise, if you don't say that, you have a steer in Reish Lakish. Dam Reish Lakish, he says, Paisha Yisrael ein ur Gehenna shalatas behem. He says the Paisha Yisrael, the sinners of Yisrael, the fire of Gehenna does not overpower them. It's not shoylet by them. Kal v'chaymer mizbeach hazav. Kal v'chaymer from mizbeach hazav. The thickness of the gold was only like a dinner zav, a golden dinner. And and it for years it was intact. And even though they had fire on it, it was burnt on the mizbeach, on the fire, it did not erode the gold. It did not ruin the gold. Paisha gold. Paisha Yisrael Shemleim Mitzvahs Karimain. Paisha Yisrael that are filled with, even the Paisha Yisrael, but they're still filled with mitzvahs. Even the Paisha Yisrael, they still have many, many mitzvahs. Like they're filled like the seeds of a pomegranate. So certainly that over there, that it's the fires of Gehenna are not going to be shoylet. It says like the piece of pomegranate are your temples, the sides of your head. That's what it means literally. Don't read the rekosech, your temples. Ella rekosech. Not rakosech, but rekosech. Not your temples, but rekosech, the empty ones, the ones who are rekim. Even the empty ones, even the ones who are rekim, they're still like a pelach hariman, like filled with seeds, like a pomegranate, filled with mitzvahs. Shafilu rekonim shabach malay mitzvahs karima. Alachas kama v'kama, so certainly they'll be protected from the fires of Gehenna. So therefore, you must make a chiluk between the Paisha Yisrael and Paisha Avdikachavim. But what do you mean? If you're saying that the fire is like you're saying that the fire is again was not shoylet and Paisha Yisrael, it says that those are who are nidan legehenim and they're crying, they're pouring tears, so they do get Gehenna. Our answer is Hahud Machayv Hayishai to Gehenna, and what it means is yes, they do have Gehenna, but it's not eternal. Just for that time, for that period of time, they're sentenced to Gehenna. They're matzlik the din, they're crying, they're matzlik the din. But also Avram Avinu matzlik hu mekabelu, and then Avram Avinu goes down and he takes them and brings them up. So, and then he takes them up. So they're only for a short period of time in Gehenna. Bar Yisrael Shabal Ba'asayv Kechovim, but with the exception of Yisrael, who's boiled the daughter of an Oived Avodah Zorah. Over there, he doesn't save them. He doesn't bring them up to Mashcha or Lasa, because she calls his Orla on his Aver to cover up the Makam Amila, and therefore he doesn't reckon, they're not recognizable as the children of Ram Avinu. And he doesn't recognize them, and therefore he doesn't take them up. So it says, Reish Lakish says that the Paishim Oivdik Achavim are not chayzer, and even at the entrance of Gehenna, they can still are continue in their rishus. He dashes the Paishim that are continuing to sin, they're continually sinning, where are you going to say in the same way that it says that Rabban Shalom took you out and raised you from Mitzrayim, and it says to bring you out from Mitzrayim, it means that he's Masik, the Masiku Mapiku, that it means he continually does it, he constantly does it. So what does it mean? It means in the past. He did it in the past. The Pashu, here also, even though it says Hapoishim, that it literally means in the present tense, but over there also it says Amoitzi V'Amala, which literally is in the present tense, and you can't say it's a present tense that he's bringing them, he's continuing to bring them out from Mitzrayim. It happened in the past. Here also that it says Hapoishim means that they were in the past. There are three entrance ways to Gehenna. There's three entrances to the Gehenna. One is in the desert, one in the sea, and one in Yerushalayim. But Midbar Dachsiv, it says, it says by Kairach that they went down, them and all of their V'chol Asher Lahem, and all of their followers and all that they had, they went down to Sheol, and the Sheol is Gehenna. That was in the Midbar, so you see that the Pesach, there's a Pesach of Gehenna in the Midbar. B'yam Dechsiv, where we see there's a Yam, because it says by Yoina, it says Mi Betin Sheol Shivati Shamata Koili. It says from Mi Betin Sheol, from the belly of the Sheol. Sheol is Gehenna. So he says he cried out from Betin Sheol, from the Pesach of Gehenna, and you heard my voice and you answered me. Yerushalayim Dechsiv, it says Nu Mashem Asher Loi B'Tzion V'Tanu Lo Yerushalayim. It says that Hashem spoke and I said there's a fire Ur Loi B'Tzion V'Tanu Yerushalayim. V'Tanu Debei Rav Yishmael Asher Ur Loi B'Tzion Ze Gehenna. What is this fire that it's referring to in Zion? That is Gehenna. And what is the oven? What is the furnace that is referring to Yerushalayim? It's a Pesach Shel Gehenna. So there's the Pesach in Yerushalayim, is the Pesach to Gehenna is in Yerushalayim. There aren't any other entranceways to Gehenna. I Amar of Marian Amar Yishu ben Levi Amar Leatan Rabba Bar Marian B'Rav Yechim Zakai. He said, "Shtei Samoras Yesh Begay Ben Hinnom." There are two palm trees in the valley of Ben Hinnom. And smoke arises from between these two palm trees. And that is Lagabe Sukkah, Lagabe in the Gemara in Sukkah rather, it says Lagabe Lulav, that the Tzine Harabarzal, that these palm branches are kosher for Lulav. And that's what it's referring to. And that is the Pesach of Gehenna. Our answer is Dil Mahayim Yerushalayim. Maybe that's one and the same of Yerushalayim. That's the same one as we mentioned in Yerushalayim. Amar Yishu ben Levi said, Zayin Shemesh Yesh LeGehenna. Gehenna has 7 names. Ve'elohein, these are the names. Sha'ol, Va'avodoin. So Sha'ol is a Shul of Avodim. It means to be destroyed, annihilated. Uber Shachas, the well of destruction. Ube'or Sha'oin, and the pit of the turbulent waters. The tit hayavein, and the tit hayavein, the mire. The salmoves, the shadow of death, the eretz hatachtis, and the underworld. Shol dechsi mi betin shol shavati shamata koili. So it says, like we said by Yoina, that he said he cried out from Shaol, and you heard my voice. Avodan Dechsiv, it says, Hayusupar bekever chazdecha. Can your chasonim, can your kindness, can someone tell it over when he's in the grave? Hayusupar bekever chazdecha, amun also ba'avodan, and your amuna in the avodan, meaning in Gehenna. Be'er shachas Dechsiv, it says, Ki loy sa'azav nashi l'shaol, you're not abandon my nefesh, the soul, like sitin chasid chalira shachas, and you won't let your chasid see shachas. So Sheol is Gehenna, and here also it's a reference like sitin chasid chalira shachas. Uborashan v'titayaven dechsiv. It says ve'aleini mi borashan v'titayaven. It says he raised me up from borashan, from this bore, from this pit. and it raised me up from Mibor Shana Mitit Hayaven, and from this tit, this mire, this quicksand, you raised me up from it. V'tzal Maves Techsiv Yoshvei Chayshech V'tzal Maves. It says those people who live in the darkness, and in V'tzal Maves Chayshech V'tzal Maves, in the shadow of death, in the shadow of death. So that's Gehenna, a reference to Gehenna. Ve'eretz Hatachtis Gemaраhu. That's a Gemara. That's a Kabbalah. That's a tradition. That's the name of Gehenna. For Gemara V'su Leka. Aren't there any other names? Vayika Gehenna, there's Gehenna itself. The Gemara answers, no, Gehenna is not a name. Gehenna is a description. It's a Gei Shamuka Gehenna. It's a valley that's as deep as the valley Gei Ben Hinayim. So that's why it's called Gehenna. But that's not the name of it itself. It's the Gei Ben Hinayim. But they called Gehenna al Shem that it's a valley as deep as it. Shakol Yored Lo al Iske Chinam. And why is it called Gehenna? Because the people who go down to Gehenna, they go down for Gehenna al Iske Hinam, al the acts of Hinam, of Snus. Va'ika frek Gemara Va'ika Tafta. It's also Tafta Dersiv Ki Orch Me'esma al Tafta. It says it was a Gehenna, for it was Oroch, it was ordained from yesterday. Tafta, the creation of Gehenna, was from Esmal, was from before the creation of the world. The world was created already with Gehenna in place. One answers again, that's also something that's descriptive. It's also a reference to anybody that is enticed by his Yetzer Hara, he falls into it. That's why it's called Tafta, because someone who is enticed, Pitui, is enticed by it, it falls to again. Gan Eden, what's Gan Eden? Amarish Lakish, she says, Im Be'eretz Yisrael Beis Shan Pischai. If it's in Eretz Yisrael, the entrance to it is in Beis Shan. Ve'im Ba'Aravia Beis Garam Pischai. And if it's in Arabia, then Beis Garim, that's the entrance. Ve'im Bein Hanaharasu. And if it's between the rivers, Dumaskin Pischai. The Pescha is Dumaskin. In Bovel, Abaya would be Meshabeach, praise the fruits of the south side of the river, of the Pras. And Rabba Mishtabeach Pered the Harpanya. And Rabba would be Mishtabeach, would praise, he Mishtabeach with the fruits of Harpanya. He would be Mishabeach with those fruits.